Heavy can just shoot.
Do you like TF2? How about random crit?
Yep, they finally did it. They added random crits. Anyways, hey guys, Buckethead here, up with another TF2 Contractors VR mod. It's a mouthful, but we got a few small changes. Number one, if you didn't understand my last video, there's medic added and all that stuff. Uber charge and the medic beam has been reworked from last time, so that's a pretty big bonus. They added melees, which means you can market guard people in VR, which is crazy. And they also added the one thing that I've personally been dreading. Random crits. What did you expect? They were random crits. Basically the same thing implemented in TF2. Except in this mod it feels a lot more, how you say, relevant or so. It seems like there's a much higher chance of getting a random crit even though it's the exact same statistics as it was in TF2. But it just feels like you get random crits more often in this game. But I don't know. It might sometimes seem like you can never get a random crit, and then the enemies on the other team have gotten random crits. I mean, I've gotten 3 crits in a row by just hitting a scout 3 times. Which is kind of crazy, but it's still roughly the same as TF2, which still doesn't seem to make a lot of sense. But anyways, onto the balance changes. Feels kind of weird to call this balance changes, but I guess it's kind of what it is. It's more of like quality of life improvements for certain aspects. For one thing, melees aren't as volatile anymore. In VR, I think having the ability to just spam a melee weapon or a melee weapon would be way too overpowered. So, the damage is cut in half down to Scout's level of melee damage, down to 35. And consecutive hits have to be spaced for about a second. So like you have to hold back your punches as heavy for a second. Because if you don't, you just get adding on a little bit of damage. The damage ramps up the more you hit, or it doesn't. Let me rephrase this. The more you hit, the less damage you do. But if you wait a second before you hit, you do a lot more damage. So, it's better to just wait a second to do the maximum amount of damage you can, instead of just constantly throwing punches or swinging your frying pan to do the most minimal amount of damage. Now, when we're talking about stuff like random crits, that's all fine, because they're all fair and balanced, you know? Who wouldn't want to get an insta-kill on 3 new people? Well, random crits account for about 2% of all bullets or projectiles shot out of your gun, so it's fair to say that they are somewhat rare. However, with how fast some of these guns fire in the mod, it makes it seem like they're a lot more frequent than they should be. Like, there have been many times I've been killed by a crit heavy who can get crits from just spinning up slightly. And that clip right there, you can see how the heavy, like, almost always has crits every time he rounds the corner. Now, Pyro's Flamethrower also has crits, but they seem to be a lot less prevalent than Heavy's crits, but I digress. All the crits seem to be fairly balanced in the way of how they were implemented, so I'll give them that. There also has been some changes to air control, which makes this feel like the Source engine being recreated on Unreal. You can now control yourself in the air a lot better by moving around while rocket jumping, sticky jumping, jumping in general, all this stuff. It feels a lot more smoother. You can also bunny hop, which is something that you couldn't originally do in Contractors due to the delay on jumping, along with bunny hopping not necessarily working in Unreal Engine. However, somehow bunny hopping is in-game, and that's a lot of fun. Everyone loves to bunny hop, even the CSGO players. Specifically the CSGO players. And this feels so much more like TF2, and I know I say this a lot and I sound like a broken record, but still. With every new update, this feels more and more like TF2. I'm having the same memories of this mod as I do with TF2 in general. And this mod is just so fun and amazing and in-depth. Anyways, guys, that's just about it for this video. Slightly shorter video due to, you know, very few things being added besides just some balance updates. But if you do want to see the full list in the changelog, I'll have a link for the server, for the Discord server to join down in the description. Anyways, guys, yeah, bye. Hey, you made it to the outro. A lot of you guys asked for this, so I delivered. As always, I'll be your #1 source for VR news, because I'm a thrill seeker copier. Just kidding, I'm just gonna do it for the TF2 stuff. Anyways, bye.